Hello and welcome to Brett's Play. Today I am playing through Deadlight Director's Cut. The Director's Cut of the game Deadlight, which I suppose is fairly straightforward, isn't it, in terms of what it actually is. So as I usually do, let's have a quick look through the options so you get a better understanding of what you can alter. So you can change your music and your sound effects and keep your dialogue levels changed, and subtitles you can have on or off. Doesn't seem to be an option to change the language. So, you know, if you don't speak English, I'm sorry. You can obviously then look at the credits as well, and you've got leaderboards for how quickly people have played through it. So as you can see at this moment in time, I'm actually not that bad, which I'm impressed with. Obviously don't know how many people have played it, but there I sit at number 57. 2 hours 49:28 is how long it took me to complete it. Although it feels much longer than that, I have to say. If we go all the way up to the quickest time, you're looking at 1 hour 50. That is someone who knows what they're doing to be able to obviously get it done that quickly. Let's just look at friends quickly. I have no friends, which, you know, I could tell you without having to look at a leaderboard probably. But yeah, 57. Not terrible. Let's see how many people have actually played it at the moment though. You know, couple of hundred. 113 have played it at the moment to completion. So of the 113 that have played it to completion, I sit sort of in the middle. So that tells you sort of what my skill level of Deadlight is. I played through Deadlight a bit on the Xbox 360. I thought I actually got quite far in it, but from playing this, I've realised I probably didn't get that far at all. Probably only about an hour in, maybe even a touch less. And, you know, it's a fun game. It's got some nice touches, it's got some nice graphics at times, but it relies a bit too much on that shadow effect, which I'll show you a bit of it in game, but it just sort of ruins the whole thing. As you can see here, it actually looks like there could be nice graphics here. And this is easily the best version of the game. It's just the fact that the game itself may not necessarily be the greatest thing about from dodgy voice acting, as you'll notice now.
Just like sharks. When they stop moving, they die. That's how you are, Carla. Save yourself.
So what we're playing here is Nightmare Mode. Nightmare Mode is basically the game without any save points.
After the storm came the calm and silence that make men crazy.
Carla! Carla! Why?
Randy, can you tell me what the fuck happened here?
She's been bitten everywhere. She knew she shouldn't have gone outside.
You killed her, you bastard! You murdered her! She's dead!
What the hell have you done?
Why?
We would all be dead by now because of your little sister.
How many times have we said not to separate from the group?
Never means never.
Charlotte drawing their attention even more.
Either we reach the military shelter that you talk about so much, Grandpa, or we'll die right here.
Radio message said that it was around here. It's a bit more than 5 miles west.
Let's get out of here. Come on!
I'm not leaving my sister here all alone.
Nothing can be done now, Stella.
Sam, Ben, Stella, get out of here. Get to the sea. I'll meet you. I've got to find my family. It's the only place they could have gone.
Stay strong, Randy, and good luck. I know we'll find them.
That day was not the beginning of anything, or the end of something. It was just one more day. A day like any other. The world was dying, and we were its survivors.
So Deadlight, you know, it's a game that's got some alright parts. The story as well isn't actually terrible.
Good luck,
The
Randy.
issue is more that it just doesn't play amazingly, and it also doesn't actually sort of sound great. As I said, there's dodgy voice acting and all that. The version we're playing is Nightmare Mode. What you do in Nightmare Mode is basically play until you die, which is, you know, quite a drastic thing to do.
Rotten and the planks are weakened.
The game doesn't control anywhere near tight enough really to warrant having this sort of mode, I don't think, personally. A lot of the time you die in this through stupid little errors because of just the way the controls are.
Stronghold in all the Pacific Northwest. Anybody alive must be trying to reach it.
But yeah, in Nightmare Mode you also seem to have a nice little costume change. Wearing what you wear in... Let's just say you have nightmares in this game is probably the best way to describe what I'm talking about without spoiling it, and you are now wearing what you wear in those nightmare sequences. So as you can see, it's the sort of thing where you can pick up objects and push it about. It's very much like your Shadow Complex and, you know, your 2D modern platformers, your Limbos and the likes of that. So I've obviously played through this before, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't be trying out new things. You can taunt at enemies and make them fall and trip, which is a handy thing to do. Let's go down here. Oh, there's a zombie there, let's not go down there. Ba-da-ba-da. So let's watch this fella fall. There we go. Okay, so you can drop down there with no real issues. Drop down there, and that's fine. The game itself is fairly linear. It's not really branching paths for you to follow. You just sort of follow the way you're told to go. And much, as I said, dodgy control scheme seems to make it that jumping over a wall can sometimes see you jumping back across it. But, you know, in these parts where there's more lighting, it definitely looks quite nice. But unfortunately, there's lots of parts where they get very heavy on just the black silhouette of your character, which just doesn't make it look its best. So in the beginning it's all fairly basic. You're running away from the zombies, or shadows as they call them in this, trying not to die, basic platforming. And it's fairly nice. And there is the issue I keep talking about. Brilliant. So that was obviously how far I got in Nightmare Mode. As you can see, I didn't do well. But it's because there's a lot of issues
Good luck, Randy.
with the way the game controls. Your sprinting and jumps are nowhere near as tight as you really want them to be.
She's been shot point blank in the head.
So, oh shit. Let's try speeding through this, getting there a bit quicker. And then if I don't get past it this time, I will take the time to obviously show you what else is in the game.
Seattle's safe point must be the last stronghold in all the Pacific Northwest. Anybody alive must be trying to reach it.
Yeah, this nightmare mode is something you only unlock once you've completed the game. It's, you know, probably fair that is the case, but especially on PS4 where it's the first time it's appeared on a Sony console, but there'll be people that would have played this on Xbox that probably don't want to be playing through it again. So it would have been nice to obviously have the nightmare mode from the off. Hopefully none of those zombies are going to fall on my head.
Come on! Here!
No, that's not going to work. Screw it, let's get going. Stupid controls. But yeah, it's a fun game. It's a middle of the road game sort of thing. It's a oh shit. Nearly buggered that up. It's nothing special. It's got some nice ideas. It's one of those solid 7 out of 10 games, and sometimes that's all you really want to play. It's definitely not one that's going to be setting your world alight at any point soon. And it's not one that you're going to tell your grandkids about. But it's one that can definitely pass a few hours' time. As I said, this nightmare mode isn't... What? Why did that hurt me this time? There we go, I made it this time at least. Nightmare mode probably isn't the best way of showing off the game because obviously I'm
Ben and the others made it out.
having to deal with the bullshit controls quite a bit. So obviously, as you can see here, you press triangle to taunt enemies. Taunting enemies is a handy way of sort of getting through little traps and being able to deal with areas where you're up on a higher level. It gives you a chance to jump over the enemies and sprint to the other side. Let's hope I time this bullshit right. And I do. Fantastic. So, that's the electric box gone. That's up here we go. And we are on the other side. Fantastic. So as you can see, you can burst through doors like this by holding R1.
It says here the highway is at the end of this tunnel. It's a straight shot to the safe point. Shannon and Lydia might even be there by now.
In terms of things the game does with the controller, it's fairly basic. Lights are actually quite naff really, if anything, which is a shame. Just showing off a secret for you guys here. But yeah, the lights a lot of the time just seem to flash during cutscenes, which is a bit distracting. So one of the secrets in the game isn't here. Is that because I have it already? Sorry to bother you like this. How do I look at my journal? There we go. It could be. There's a bunch of diaries. Oh, never mind. I'm pretty sure if you're playing through this in the normal game, you can find a fun little old school handheld game to play, which is a nice little touch. So let's run through here. Lots of creepy sewer stuff going on.
Corpses. They don't impress me anymore.
Why would a corpse ever impress you? So yeah, this game does that beautiful thing of making it so your protagonist can't swim for whatever fucking reason, despite the fact you're a grown man. I suppose he just never really felt like he wanted to learn to swim. You know, we're not. There's no story to ever justify that, but you know, he can't swim. So you have to deal with that quite a bit. And for the most part it's fine, because there's lots of conveniently located valves to lower the levels. But the issue obviously with the water thing is you then get bullshit like this, where apparently a perfectly fine human can waddle through water slower than a bunch of zombies can walk through it, which makes no bloody sense. But c'est la vie, we have survived to live another day. Actually, whilst we're here, just to demo a small issue, a lot of the time you have to be directly under sections above you so you can jump up to grab things. It's pointlessly fiddly. It's something that you'd think they would have sorted in the director's cut. It's a shame they haven't. And I fucked it. Yet again, timing your long distance jumps can sometimes be a bit of an art form, and it's very unforgiving. It's a bit annoying. Most of my deaths probably happened more because of just mistiming a jump than anything else, and it's a bit annoying. Before I jump in and show you one of the other new modes, I will quickly push on through the story using the scenes that I have unlocked. Obviously close your eyes if you do not want spoilers. So you got 3 acts that you got to go through. One of them is Welcome to Seattle, one of them is that, one of them is that. As you can see, some of them are a bit longer than others. And there's lots of collectibles to collect along the way. Okay, so let's go into Welcome to Seattle. And let's just look through this. This isn't anything major I'm going to show you. I just wanted to show you a bit more interesting combat. So as you can see, I now have a gun. Guns obviously offer you a different way of dealing with situations. So as you can see, shot that dude in the head, which is, it's handy. Zombies have to be shot in the head, and you know, they're irritating enemies. Sometimes they'll be running very fast and you'll have to try your darndest to not get buggered up. So, as I said, I'm mainly really wanting to show off how you use your gun. And I just don't.
I could tackle it down, waste of precious drinking water.
Don't really want to spoil too much for you.
The fire should be out.
So hopefully I don't. Whoa. Fuck. Did that wrong, doesn't matter. So I obviously want to make sure these guys are shot in the head. If you don't shoot them in the head, they don't go down. To reload, you hit L1. And you can also try and get rid of enemies by using your axe, which can be a bit more fiddly, but you do small attacks like that, hold it down to do heavy attacks, and you finish them off when they're on the floor, yet again with a heavy attack. It's not the most sophisticated in terms of combat, but for the most part it's more of a platform game than a combat game. It definitely feels clunkier in the during the moments that you have to be focusing more on shooting things. In fact, in my normal playthrough I don't actually think I shot very much at all. And yeah, moments where you have to do long runs and jumps are always just a bit fiddly and annoying. So as you can see, the game takes place in Seattle. It's your fairly standard horror fare. There's some nice moments and some nice ways of doing things, but for the most part you're dealing with fairly
It seems that those
mundane,
planks block up the way to the rooftop.
silly
I
things.
think that those shadows might be of help to me.
Yeah, I've found after the first act I've probably got a bit, maybe not bored, bored may not be the right word there, but the first act's definitely the most interesting of them. Fuck's sake, I've dropped again. After that you're sort of kind of just figuring out how to do things a lot, and the
Looks like
puzzles
somebody
are
had a
just a
hard
bit
time with the end
more
of the world.
irritating.
Everybody reacts to fear differently.
So as you can see, if I stand still for long enough, I get prompts of where I can jump, which is a handy thing to have. You could turn it off by going to here and knocking off the markers, but I like to leave it on just because sometimes it's not overly clear where it is you're actually meant to be going, which I suppose is the game's fault. And it's something they've obviously addressed. They know that they've not got the most clear signposting naturally, so they deal with it another way. And as you can see graphically here, the shadows are much heavier. You're getting less glimpses of the actual person. It just seems to be that you are a black figure running about the place.
That's the helicopter chasing my friends. Let's go quick. My friends are in danger.
So I'll play this up until I die, which may or may not be really soon. As you can see, sometimes things fall away from you just to make it a bit more dramatic. There's lots of things to explore and find. The odd thing with a lot of bullets is you can actually search bodies again and again to try and get stuff from them. Okay, this is actually quite a good part to get to, because I will probably balls this up. Stop doing that. There we go. Okay, so over the wall we go. As you can see, there's electric and there's zombies. I can't shoot my gun whilst it's like this, but I can shout at them, causing the zombies to come away, and unfortunately lose my stamina, it would seem. Didn't do that quite as smoothly as I had hoped, so I will show you it again. And as you can hear there, sometimes you get glitches after death which trigger the audio from the previous part, which is a bit confusing. So we called zombies. I'm just having a look down here because I swear I saw something. That was just a first aid kit again. So we go back over and the zombies are gone. So we jump over here and try and climb down. But you can only climb so far. Now this is where it gets fun. So, you know, sometimes you get the hand of some of the running tactics.
That sounds like a car. What the hell is happening out there?
That's gunfire.
Charlie Delta Oscar, requesting survivor transfer. One target down.
So still at the moment we've only got the basic gun weapons. You will get a few more weapons as the game progresses, and you'll also get some puzzles that require you to use the weapons in a certain way. We will play this up until the next death, because it's getting into a bit of the spoiler territory. Reload my gun. As I said, I want to really show off how the weapons work for the most part. So let's try and get rid of these zombies. As you can see, the zombies tend to keep coming back, and sometimes they're not actually on your row, which is where it gets confusing, because obviously it's a 2D game, and you want them to be on your row. So let's try and kill them using the axe to show off how that works.
Here. Come on.
Is there anything else to fight? There's this fella. So what happens when you die by zombies? As you can see, you get to a part where you've got a QT to try and shove them off. If there's only the one, it's easy to do so. If there's more than one, you can get a bit overwhelmed and they start to take you down. They sometimes will take you to the floor. And, you know, basically, as is always the case with zombie games, you're trying not to get caught by too many. Get caught by too many, that happens, and you reload from the next checkpoint. Which we are not, well, we're going to have to, because you can't just quit out, apparently. But we are not going to progress just because it's starting to get a bit too spoilery in terms of what's happening. As I said, the story may not be the best, but you don't really want it spoiled for you, even if the delivery is a bit poor. I don't want to be that guy. So we'll go back to the main, show off the main addition, really, that separates the director's cut from everything else. Obviously, Nightmare Mode's a nice touch, but it's something that is a bit... It's just a bit... I don't really know who would want it. I don't know who wants to play through a 2-hour game. I mean, you saw the fastest time there being something like 1 hour 50. I can tell you, can't I? Leaderboards. So keep in mind that the fastest go so far in this game is 1 hour 50. So yeah, just shy of 2 hours. Would you really want to play a 2-hour game with no save points and no breaks? It's just a bit of a weird one to include. So let's have a look at survival. What is survival? It's basically a survival mode set in a little abandoned hospital even, full of the zombies trying to get you. So you're just trying to escape. You realise you can't escape the hospital, so you're just trying to survive for as long as possible. Played this earlier to get my head around it.
Others, denial.
It's fun. It's different, that's for sure. Whereas the main game probably isn't that much of an emphasis on killing things, this very much has an emphasis on killing things. Shit. Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. So, as you can see, try and push things one way to get away from from all the bad guys. Try and set up as many traps as possible, and I'm going to use this to try and get across here. First aid kit, that's where that is, so I know. I want to obviously keep away from the zombies which are coming there. Ooh, bullets. So bullets obviously a handy thing to have. And as you can see, some beautiful little glitches, just making everything a bit more awkward than it has to be. Let's run away from here, I suppose. Keep me on the safe side of where to go there. And we'll go up here and use this to help protect me a bit longer. So obviously the zombies are there at the moment and they're through the gates. So we run down trying to get a bit further. And we've got a shotgun. Fuck off. Okay, so let's show off the shotgun, something I didn't get to do before, which is great to have for these big hordes. You fuck off. Oh, that didn't happen last time I played. That was nice. So as you can see, the shotgun is for crowd control, as it usually is in games. I am running low on things right now. That's probably me dead. Yeah, it is. So as you can see, 25 kills, 2 minutes 30 to survive. We'll give it one more go just so you get a better idea of what it is, and it's very much, I suppose, in a way like other survival horde modes. You are focusing on just getting there as quick as possible to the parts that you know the location of. So so far in the game, things like axes and all that haven't changed position. They've always been in these areas. Yet again, can't really climb through there. Really annoying. Weird little glitch that. But we persevere, we push on, we improvise. That is the joy of the world. So obviously I want to make sure that any zombies coming through here can't really get to me. So we block them off. And that'll be the main thing. You want to make sure that you're creating a buffer when you're playing this. And we'll pick up the shotgun just for good measure. And whilst we wait, which is probably the best option here. In fact, this is probably the best option here. And we wait and we wait and we wait and we jump. And obviously what I'm going for here is to get across to the other side, hopefully before... Oh shit, that did not go to plan at all. So, seeing as that didn't go to plan, let's quickly grab that first aid kit and we run away as quick as possible. Offload a few rounds just for good measure. And it's doing a great job at showing off the bloody glitches this game does have. So there you go. Not as good as last time, but gives you an idea of the tactics you can go. You can go for the sort of hiding away and not using as much weapons and as much ammo tactic, or you can just try and fire your way out. It's all about trying to survive for as long as possible. At the moment, let's have a look at the leaderboard so you can get an understanding as to we're getting a fairly modest 2 minutes 30. We'll put so survival leaderboard. So that's 2 minutes 30 wasn't my top. So my top score at the moment is 3 minutes 24, which puts me at 39. If we were to go to the top of the board, 19 minutes is at the moment the best, which is very good indeed. Wait, no, that's not right at all, is it? It is somehow 1 hour 42, which is top. That's extremely well done, Gengro HD. You have to be wondering, considering the drastic change, is that a glitch or are they just that good? As you can see from playing the game, it's a bit shaky, to say the least. Let's have a look through survival mode. So a lot more have played this survival mode than they have finished the main game. Some people obviously haven't survived very long at all. I imagine as the game goes on, you'll be seeing 3 minutes, probably about the average you're going to get. It definitely adds some longevity. It doesn't add as much longevity as I thought it would. It's very basic. There's not actually much there. I thought when I heard about it there was going to be various levels and a lot to do, but really you're just sort of running about. And with the amount of glitches in just such a small space, it's hard to really forgive them for it. It's not something that you're going to be wanting to play a lot. But, you know, the game's, probably about 15 quid, I imagine, on PSN full price. It'll no doubt appear in the sales fairly soon for, you know, anywhere between 5 to 10 quid. Maybe if you are a fan of that sort of side-scrolling Shadow Complex Limbo kind of thing, maybe give Deadlight a shot for full price if you haven't played it before. Yes, the acting's hammy and some of the some of the animations are a bit but overall it is still quite fun. I have enjoyed it. Don't fully know what score I would probably give it. I would be tempted at the moment to say something about 7. I would obviously have to contemplate it a tiny bit more. There's quite a bit in here. It's easily the best version of the game that exists, and it's a nice enough concept for a game. The story's actually quite interesting regardless of how bad the acting is. And there's lots of little collectibles, there's lots of little things to do. But, you know, you might want to wait for that sale before delving in. But you've got a couple of hours gameplay from just playing the story mode itself, as you can see from my rank of 57 on the main leaderboard. Nearly 3 hours of gaming, and I've then had time to go into the nightmare mode and play that for a bit. I played the survival mode for a bit. For your 15 quid you'll easily get probably about 4 hours gaming if it's your first ever time of playing it at all. Or, you know, maybe you'll be really efficient and just finish it very quickly. But overall, Deadlight, interesting game, lots to it. Or lots more to it at least than was originally there, but has it made it amazing? No. Is it a reboot or remaster that was really needed? Maybe not, but obviously it's brought it to PlayStation, which it wasn't before, and it's nice that PlayStation users are getting a chance to play it. Hopefully Tequila Works use whatever money is made from this remaster, put it into a new game, because they definitely have some good ideas. I'd like to see them have another stab at creating a game. Hope they can make something even better than this. But yeah, I've been Brett Claxton. You've been wonderful. This music's been very dramatic. Feel free to subscribe and keep checking back for more Brett's Plays, Let's Plays, and, you know, just looking at games. Okay, thanks very much. Goodbye.